like, comment as you guys come in, subscribe to the page, support the page by sending in super chats, um, by liking the page. But thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. We got to get to what's being talked about regards to Diddy, and we're going to talk hot topics, trending topics. I'm trying to figure out where I want to start. I think I'll start here. But like the video as you guys come in, let me go ahead and do my disclaimer as I'm getting into everything. I hope everyone's having a happy month. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get straight into what's happening, and then we're going to talk about the attorney speaking up and speaking out. And many people are not happy about it. Many people are not happy about it. And I get why. Because it's almost like, are they grabbing at straws? Let's talk about it, Media 21. Let me get everything set up. But like the videos you guys come in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, everyone. We're going to get into what happened, I want to say either Thursday, Friday, and I could tell you that the media is probably, well, how should I say this? Instagram is reporting on stuff sometimes that the media is not even reporting on. And why do I say that? Diddy is basically saying he wants to become, Diddy plans to counsel DV cases, and he's drawing backlash from it. He wants to become a counselor and trying to understand, I guess, why people do what they do. But the biggest thing, people are saying, sir, focus on yourself. We're not seeking opinions on what you feel is happening. That's not what people are seeking. They're not seeking for you to give advice on anything like that. And I think I'm being hesitant of what I want to say. I think in a big way. Many people feel, one, let the sentence happen. Two, why would you feel that anybody wants to hear what you have to say, and why you would think people want you would counsel people? I don't think people want that. I'll let and then I'll get into it. I'll let the Breakfast Club talk about it, because I'm trying to choose my words wisely for a good reason. I'm going to want to let more people come in, but it's almost like his team is grabbing at straws. I think this is the wrong thing to say. Wrong thing to say that you're trying to get into the music part of it. The wrong thing to say that you're thinking about getting into counseling, helping people in regards to their DV situations. We're gonna get into it, y'all. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna let them explain it, because people really want his team to just chill out until after the sentencing. But I guess they have a right to speak up, speak out, but people are not having it.
Okay, so yes, this morning, starting off in the latest, we're going to have a conversation about Diddy, because his attorneys are continuing to have conversations, and what we found out over the weekend was that Diddy wants to become an anti-domestic violence advocate.
Well, if you don't sit this stupid ass down somewhere. It sounds so boy, his whole team. Bad Boy, not Bad Boy. What's his team called? His lawyers, the staff, record label, and mother effing crew.
You call it boy.
Okay.
Well,
It don't even make sense. I don't even know, like, after you just keep messing up, you just keep doing stupid stuff.
No, defend him, man. Ride for him.
Well, he definitely do be giving, he be giving it up for Diddy, yo. I don't be giving up for nobody, first of all. And second of all, they just go.
Well, listen, so what Alexandria Shapiro, who's the attorney that's supposed to be...
So it's talking fast. Yes, it is. Good morning, good morning. Yes, everybody hit the like button. We played a video in regards to how the Breakfast Club felt about Diddy even talking about doing music. Remember, it was his lawyer, main attorney for Diddy, that said he can't wait to get to Madison Square Garden. Was that the? I think that was the venue. Hold on. So the Breakfast Club has been going in because they're basically saying Diddy's lawyers should not be saying what they're saying. They should not be talking about what he wants to do in regards to music. It is in regards to rehabilitation. Maybe Diddy's team heard that, and now they're saying this is what we're going to focus on the rehabilitation about. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
This insider is saying is that in the future, Diddy wants to work with domestic violence programs. He says that he wants to talk to like other, people who are committing.
Thank you. Clean your house, sir, before you try and step in and help others. Because you guys have to remember, and I think that's why I was holding my tongue. Remember how they said he was seeking assistance and help or counseling before he went in? Well, if you were seeking help and a counseling before you went in, why would you still have FO stuff set up? Why would you still have substances in your house if you're getting assistance and help? Now, before you're even sentenced, you're basically saying you want to sit and counsel. Sir, many people don't even feel that you've been properly counseled because you guys have to remember this as well. I'm not stupid. Remember how the attorney he has now states the programs where he's at now are not that great of programs. His own lawyers state the programs that where he's at now are not that great of programs. He is getting counseling. He is having people come in and assist and help. Maybe he feels in his mind he's a millionaire. I can do something to help and assist people. Many people would take that conversation maybe if he's out after 2 or 3 years. But even then, because that's the other thing. The thing with Cassie, we don't know what happened with these other girlfriends, right? We don't have any idea what happened with these girlfriends. And two, what happened in his homes? If he's willing to do things at the hotel, which he did to Cassie, how do we not know things happened at his home? We didn't get a lot of information of the videos they retrieved from his home. Was there conversation that he was, argumentative with Cassie at his home? They didn't even really talk about that. Stuff that was raided from his home, yeah, we got what was inside. We got things scratched off. But what about the videos from his home? What about his text messages? You understand what I'm saying? These women should not have had to go through what they've gone through. He dated other people outside of Cassie. What did those other women experience? There's no way. And then you got Gina. You have Gina that's speaking out saying release him. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. You can't make this up. Gina didn't show up to court. Everybody's saying, did she have a right? Was she subpoenaed? She called herself victim 3, right? Gina called herself victim 3, writing the judge. You can't make that up. You called yourself victim 3. You called yourself victim 3, MIA, pretty much for all the court case. Gina did not resurface until after the jury was deliberating. And then she wants to write a letter helping him. You can't make this up.
These acts and children and just different people to basically say, hey, here's what happened to me, here's what I went through. I don't want y'all to do the same things, make the same wrongs that I did. Basically trying to help people before they get to that point.
Yeah, in the future, after you've done the work, I have no problem with that. But right now, you need to be a student in those classes, not a teacher. Just lied about this last year. Literally. Remember when Kathy first made the accusations and he said it wasn't true, then the video came out and he had to put his video out apologizing?
That's the other thing. He lied about certain stuff and then the video came out. Then he had to apologize. And it was a post and delete. So how can we trust somebody to counsel people when you're still trying to understand what you did? And we haven't heard from all your girlfriends. So no, sir. No, people do not want to hear you are wanting to counsel DV people. No. I think that's the one thing with millionaires, billionaires, they think they can do all, be all, but there's no way.
I just lied about this last year.
Well, speaking of Cassie, her attorney, Douglas Wigdor, he spoke to Rolling Stone in response to the story, and he called this utterly preposterous. He says, at this point,
and he paid them off to keep it silent. But what things do happen in his own home? that we don't know about, that they didn't address? What messages was he sending some of these women? You understand what I'm saying? He paid that hotel off.
Or other people in the article, they have sources, they don't name them, but these are alleged victims of Diddy's that are saying that it's manipulation. It's manipulation because he hasn't even fully done the work yet. So to try and, create this narrative that you want to go and help people do things that you haven't figured out for yourself yet is manipulation, and it's disrespectful. And it's almost like a thing, I was going to say slap in the face of the victims, but...
Well, the judge realizes this is a PR stunt and not genuine rehabilitation. So when the judge doesn't, give him leniency at his sentencing, it's going to be stuff like this. That's the reason why.
Yeah, well, his team, so Alexandria actually said that they plan to have this conversation about what Diddy plans to do in the future with becoming an advocate, anti-domestic violence advocate in sentencing documents. So they do plan to present this to the judge and make this a part of the conversation they have.
So now they're going to present that to the judge. They're pulling at straws. We get it.
For third sentencing to see if it'll help, because they're trying to go for time served. They feel like he's going to be a little bit over a year at the time of sentencing. He should get time served and be able to come home on home confinement. They basically...
Do you think he'll get time served? Let me know in the comments. Do you think they'll give him home confinement? Let me know in the comments.
Like a split sentencing thing where he finishes the rest of his time from home.
Well, makes no sense. You have so many great attorneys, right? That are supposed to be high-priced attorneys working on this case, and the fact that they keep making this mistake after the trial, and everybody else sees that it's wrong, and they can't. That doesn't.
This could be coming from their client though. Their client could be pushing for this. Diddy, that's the problem.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I just think the timing is so bad. It doesn't.
Will tell you, like, yo, this ain't it. Don't move like this.
Yeah, when you're facing 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, which carry 20 years, you got to show remorse. You got to show accountability.
Well, and I think he was going to be a Trump supporter. Oh, yeah, that's exactly where I was going next, because his other... Well,
so now people are trying to say, what will he do in regards to, is he going to flip and act like he's supporting Trump? Let's find out.
This is his attorney / not attorney. We'll get into why I said that. But Mark Geragos, who's a really well-known, prominent attorney, has a podcast with TMZ called Two Angry Men, where him and Harvey discuss legal things. And they were talking about this case and the Trump pardon. And this is what Mark Geragos had to say.
Would Diddy pledge allegiance to Donald
Good
Trump
morning.
in return for a pardon? I think yes. I think, having done this for 40-some-odd years, what happens to people when they go through a criminal case? I watched it. I can't remember the last time that a client didn't say to me after a criminal case, how do you do this for a living? They made a caricature of me. The prosecutors have. There's something about that fraternity of people who have been accused and have gone through the process that gives you an affinity. It would not surprise me to hear Sean say, I now get it. I understand it, and I was wrong then, and I don't know that I would say he's pledging loyalty, but I think he would probably say, I now get what he went through.
Well, that guy did say that's what he thinks. That's not coming from Diddy. That's his opinion.
Yes, but I think that's
a
big statement to make. And also, Harvey pressed him because you remember they came out and said, oh, we were talking about a pardon. And they said, no, someone in his orbit. I was told that there are the conversations happening, and then they backed away from it. Harvey also pressed Mark Geragos on this because Mark Geragos is Teeny Geragos.
But you got to remember, his lead attorney said he's not appointing Trump. He doesn't want to get into the politics. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
His dad. So the lead prosecutor in Diddy's case, this is her father that is saying this, and there's been conversations about whether he counseled the defense in Diddy's situation. So for him to even say that, he knows what that can imply. He would say no if it's completely off the table. Let's take a listen to the second clip.
Would I be jumping to conclusions to think that there wasn't a discussion about how Diddy would speak of the president in return for a pardon?
I don't know that there's ever been that discussion. I can't go that far. But I would
really? For those of you listening, Mark just smile.
I just think there's a naive aspect to the idea that you wouldn't understand or have an affinity for somebody else who's been through the system. The system chews you up.
Do I take that as I wouldn't be jumping to a conclusion?
I just don't think I would make it as quid pro quo that you've got to say something. I think there's an honest affinity for anybody who goes through the process with anybody else who's gone through it.
Why do they do that? Like, why not just say what you're saying? Because what you're saying is, yeah, that probably will happen, but you can't blame him if it does, because that's what, now he relates to Trump or whatever.
Yeah, I personally believe Diddy cares too much about his image to do that. I could be wrong, but I just don't see him going from saying things like white men like Trump need to be banished to Harlem shaking for Trump with a MAGA hat on.
I don't think he's gonna Harlem shake, of course, but I see where it will come.
It's concerning. So now we're going to get to, his lawyer spoke up after he spoke up with, was it CBS? Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me pull it this way. Like the video as y'all come in. Like the video as y'all come in. Because remember, they needed to do a cleanup. His attorney needed...
While he did say to me, as I said,
his attorney needed to do a cleanup in regards to him saying that he's going to try and get to Madison. And now they're trying to say he wants to counsel. We're going to get to it.
is we are going to have to fight very hard and argue very intelligently to get him a reasonable sentence where he can get out in relatively short order. I think your assessment is very close to my assessment. And then he's out. So what does he do first? What he does first, and I think he does it for quite a while, is he is now present for his 7 children. He has a beautiful mother who is getting older. And I think he's going to want to spend time with his mother and with his kids and get reacquainted with them on the outside. They've all stood by him, of course, and they visit him in jail on a regular basis. But he needs to get back to his life with them, his life with the other people who love him and miss him. And that is going to be the next chapter and maybe the next several chapters of his life. One thing that I think is true about my assessment of Sean Combs, I believe he's always going to do something special, something that other people haven't done. And while he did say to me, as I said, that he hopes one day his fortune would take him maybe back to Madison Square Garden, I think that is, if ever, years down the road. And that is not in his immediate conception. That
So now he's saying it's years down the road. Like the video, like the video.
is something, quite frankly, I hope for him. I hope he comes out and he does important things. He's working very hard in jail. I think he is spending a lot of time thinking about aspects of himself, maybe some of the aspects of himself that caused him to be there. I think he's someone who's very conscious of the fact that he has these tremendous blessings in his life, but he also has imperfections, as we all do. And I think he's really spent a lot of time thinking about that. And the word that I used and been using, and I'll use it now, is redemption. And redemption is earned. Redemption is not given. And I think he has done the hard work to earn redemption in the eyes of people, both his fans and his detractors alike. I think that to be human, and I think to have humanist beliefs, is to believe in redemption, that someone can do something wrong, and then they have to have some way of redeeming themselves. And I think it's a great gesture of character on the part of the person seeking redemption, and also on the part of the people that were asking to redeem that person. And so he's not.
Now you have to remember, once he's sentenced, those civil lawsuits are about to come out. Once he's sentenced, those civil lawsuits are going to come out. And it's going to paint a different kind of situation. It's going to paint a different kind of situation. And those people better have proof. Police reports, hospital records, there better be some attachments that show proof of what they're complaining about this man about. If any of the allegations are true. Because what we thought this trial was going to be was not. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Not asking for something for nothing. He's putting the work in. And I believe this is a great redemption story, and that is my hope for him.
You said he's doing the hard work. So the police
like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip. The video.
He has anger issues and has also had substance abuse issues. Is he getting professional help for both of those right now, and has he been?
Now let's listen to what he has to say about him getting assistance and help.
So the answer is yes. He has therapists that we have basically lined up for him from the outside. The MDC is very strong in certain areas. One of the areas it's not so strong in, it does not have meaningful programming. And so that is not really available to him on the inside, as though if he were at a traditional post-conviction facility, there'd be more programming for him. So we have put things together. He's working very hard in therapy. We know who his therapists are. We don't seek to break the privilege that they have, but I know that he's working hard on all these issues. As you might remember, we got him into a batterers program even before he was arrested on the federal case. And
I told y'all, he was in a program before, but then he still had his room set up for an FO. He's in a program. He was in a program before, but then he still had the room set up for an FO. How is that any change, sir? And everybody has the ability where they get it. Maybe the trial, there was a light bulb that came on and he gets it in regards to what these experiences, not only the female has said, but the co-workers has said of how they felt. And I feel like a lot of those people were not honest on the stand. They just wanted to try and be kind because he's sitting right there, and people were fearful to speak the truth.
And frankly, I wish he had done that 30 years ago. I mean, I was a DA in Manhattan. That's where I started my career. I was 25 years old, 1990, working in the Manhattan DA's office. And I would say of my 200 plus cases, 30 or so cases involved, for the most part, men charged with domestic violence. And we didn't warehouse those men. We put them in therapy. We made that a condition of their resolution of their case. We gave them anger management, and we allowed them to redeem themselves in the eyes of society and in the eyes of the people that they were in love with and were in love with them.
When it comes time for sentencing, would you argue to the judge that the best way to get real professional help is on the outside, not the inside, and therefore house arrest or just house confinement might be more appropriate than prison?
That's TMZ trying to help. Did y'all hear that? That's them trying to help him try and get home confinement. It's all up to the judge. Each count holds 10 years. What do you think he'll get? Time served, press 1. Do you think he'll get over 5 years? Press 2. Do you think he'll get over 10 years? Press 3. A lot of people been side-eyeing TMZ lately.
argument that I may make. I mean, I think I'm certainly going to be asking the judge as a condition of his supervised release that he have appropriate counseling and therapy. I think he needs it. I think he thinks he needs it. And that's the important part. What I think is really irrelevant. He believes that he needs this. He believes that this would make him a better person. And the one thing that he says more than anything else, and he said this consistently for the last 10 and a half months, is I am going to make the most of my time in jail. This happened for a reason. I have deficits. I've had them my entire adult life, and they came back, to bite me. But I'm not just going to suffer through this time or blame anyone else for this time. I'm going to take account of my own actions. I'm going to try to do better. I'm going to have the last chapters of my life be the best chapters of my life in all the ways that really matter. To be a loving person, to be as close as possible with my children, to really rely on my faith. And I think he's going to do all of those things.
First off, his house was raided. The house was raided. He's in jail right now. And he had a trial. And he's still in jail. And there's civil lawsuits coming up. Let's continue. Fair use clip.
So house confinement is something you would see.
Seriously? You are not using AI in 20... ...
And his bail has been denied 5 times. His bail has been denied 5 times. So the judge has made a decision, several judges, 2 at least. They've made a decision over and over again. When you think about that, his bail has been denied 5 times.
See how our sentencing memo comes together. We have...
Move on. Move on from what? Tell him what's going on?
A very busy August and early September lined up for us, putting together what I think will be a very, very important document in the form of this sentencing memorandum. And I haven't talked about this, publicly yet. So let me tell you what I see. This is going to be a very comprehensive document. It's like the biography of Sean Combs, and written in a way that is meant to really reach an audience for the most part of one, which is our judge. And our judge is a very fair man, a very smart man, a man who reads everything we give him closely in detail, has meaningful questions, and we have to write an outstanding sentencing memo. I mean, one of the things I was conscious of as I was preparing my summation, I've said this a few times, but I wanted to say it to you, is I had put together an outline, and it wasn't right for the Sean Combs summation. It wasn't at that level. And I scrapped it all, and I wrote 3 pages of handwritten notes, and I gave my summation in front of the jury in real time, kind of in the moment, as a story that I was telling to the jury. And this sentencing memo has to be at the highest of levels. It has to tell his story accurately and beautifully and powerfully, and it will do all of those things. And that's really the way that we tell the judge who is Sean Combs. We're gonna have letters from other people who've known him through the years. We're gonna have, I'm sure that he's gonna want to make a statement to the judge, probably both in writing and in open court. And so this is really our occasion to show the judge, and maybe for the first time, the world, who he really is. Not necessarily the man, who we've seen on stage, not necessarily the man, who's putting on parties and the public face of Sean Combs. Who is he really? I mean, in his soul, who has he been his whole life? Who is the 12-year-old Sean Combs, the 20-year-old, the 30-year-old, all the way through his life?
12-year-old.
From the people who knew him best. Because it's one thing for a lawyer to tell a story about someone. It's really something quite different to have letters from the people who know.
That's the concern, though, y'all. Think about it. What did the employee have to do to prove their loyalty? Anybody in the comments? What did the employee have to do to prove his loyalty to Diddy? What happened to Cassie on that video? Let me ask y'all this question. Do y'all think that's the first time he put hands on her like that? At the hotel. He knows the hallways are being recorded. Let's continue. Fair use ration clip. Yeah, clean up on that aisle 9, 10, 11, 12. Clean up on aisle 9, 10, 11, 12. How do lawyers defend people like this? It's interesting to me. So, sir, would you want him dating your mother, your aunt, or your niece?
Known him through the years. And I can tell you, we're collecting some just beautiful letters from people in all different areas of his life. And I'm actually looking.
And his friends have a right to write. They didn't show up to court. So what does that tell you? Now you want to write the letters because he could get less than possible 10. Now you want to write the letters in support. They have a right to, but you didn't show up to court. You didn't show up to court. Fair use reaction clip.
I'm humbled and honored by the opportunity to tell this man's story, and I hope I do it the justice it deserves.
And finally,
So I tried this website.
Like the
called
video,
Hint.
like the
It
video.
shows you what you're
As huge of a celebrity he is, his friends didn't show up to Kanye. And many people felt Kanye showed up at that time for a reason.
a talk early on in this case, and you took a lot of heat for something. And at the time, I didn't see your end game. I think I see it now. So I want to play the part of the interview that I'm talking about, give you my take on it now, and see if you agree. Here it is. How do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. Attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean,
And that was the other problem, that they were focusing on oils when they should have been focusing on what was found in the home, the substance, the scratching of. What other videos did he have in his home? Were they too busy to look at the videos in his home? You care. You're typing.
Let's just say it's a lie. So you took a lot of heat for that. And I thought that that question was a tough one for you to answer. And I see it very differently now, because I saw what you did in your closing argument, where you mocked the fact that 70 Homeland Security officers were able to seize 1,000 bottles of baby oil and the streets were safer because of it. And you mocked it. And what I didn't realize then, and what I think a lot of people didn't think of then, is that.
And then do y'all remember the son saying they missed the home? Do y'all remember that the son said they missed the house? Was this case handled properly by the feds? We're all just wondering. Where was his other girlfriends outside of Cassie? The other girlfriends outside of Cassie. Was this case handled properly? Fair use reaction clip.
This was a prelude for what you were arguing, which is you made light of it because that ultimately, in a weird way, it became a weapon for you to diminish the prosecution's case. Do I have that right?
you have it exactly right. And if you remember, toward the end of the trial, one of the outstanding Homeland Security agents did very, very important work. And I played that up in my cross-examination, that he did hundreds of search warrants in his life, and he was going after terrorists. I think he was in a unit that dealt with like terrorism and things like that. And I asked him, how many times have you done a search and you recovered Astroglide and baby oil? And he said, one. I said, one in addition to this case? He says, no, this case. And, I wouldn't make light of hard drugs. I wouldn't make light of guns. I wouldn't make light of those kinds of things that are actually dangerous, because they're dangerous. But baby oil and Astroglide, I mean, one of the things I did in my summation, and this is, I think, what you're referring to, is early on in my summation, I sort of used it as a test balloon for the jury. And I said to the jury, they used all of this show of force, they used this military tactics, but it's all worth it because they got the Astroglide and the baby oil, and.
But they also got videotapes if he was trying to hold it over people's heads. Y'all get that? I'm cautious about what I say. They got the tapes of if he could have tried to hold things over people's heads. And a lot of celebrities are probably happy about that. Look at all the videos of all those celebrities that were at the parties. And remember, he said that there's a late night party. Remember how he talked on Ellen? He said that there's other type of parties. Why wasn't some of those videos shown? So you telling us him and Cassie and the other girlfriends had a perfect situation at his house. No other concerns. That was the only time he put hands on Cassie. What? What did Gina say? So that's the only time he put hands on Cassie. Were they lazy? Did they not go through the material? You want to talk baby oil and Astroglide? Do you think the feds handled the case properly?
The jury laughed. And when the jury laughed, I said, I'm good. I know what I'm going to do from here. I'm going to use the tools in the storyteller's arsenal, some of which is sarcasm, some of which is, they're different techniques. But the jury, I think, saw it that way.
People were also upset that he was the only one. They felt that all the KKs, the D-Rocks, people that saw stuff, employees that complained about stuff, girlfriends that complained about stuff, they said all those people should have had to take the stand. Yes, on that show. He talked about different things. Before his trial, many people were showing different videos about him. The things that he was saying, how he was talking. A lot of those videos should have been talked about in trial. Live interviews he did of what he said and how he's acted. But they want to talk baby oil and Astro. Do y'all feel that they made too much about Cassie and they should have made more on the raid of the house, the raid of the hotel room? Did they do too much surrounding Cassie? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Good afternoon.
And that really was the point I was making. I mean, I was the chief of the violent crime unit in the District of New Jersey, and I prosecuted mafia cases, MS-13 cases. I was on the 9/11 investigation. You know, I've had big cases, and the Southern District has had big cases. And big cases, you know, usually deal with dangerous things. And Astroglide and baby oil just isn't dangerous.
Well, it only took me 9 months to figure out what you were up to, but I certainly get it now.
I think you were the only person, or one of the only people I spoke to before the trial. And you said something, I think, on your show with Mark Garagos, that we stayed true. I stayed true to what I told you, 9 months before the trial. And that's because it was the truth. And there was only one truth. There was only one way through this, and that was to take it on head on. Take on the domestic violence, own it, take it all on, and then pick a jury of New Yorkers who kind of know what's up, to show them what's bad, what's not bad, what's a crime, what's not.
Did the jury do a great job? Ooh, I saw that comment. Ooh, I saw that comment. Did the juries do a good job? Were they rushing for the holiday? I don't think it should have been mentioned to them that we're trying to wrap things up before the 4th of July. No, we're going to wrap things up around the 4th of July. They should have had to come back after the 4th. Some of the repetitiveness in regards to people's testimony being on the stand too long. What about the people he produced? What about the people he produced? What about the other girlfriends? There was too many holes in the case. There's no way that the feds are happy about how they handled this case. And that's why that lady was fired. That's why she was fired. If they have a, 90, whatever it is, 90% success rate, why wasn't that a success rate with the Diddy trial? If they have a huge success rate, why wasn't there not a success rate in regards to the Diddy trial?
Stay in prison until his sentencing in October. Earlier this year, a jury convicted him on prostitution-related charges, but found him not guilty of more serious crimes. Now, in his first interview since the trial, his lead attorney, Mark Agnifilo, spoke with our Jerry Duncan about the possibility of a presidential pardon.
You mean to tell me?
This is the other thing. Are y'all surprised we haven't heard from the jurors? Why are the jurors so quiet? Not a book, not interviews. Do you think the jury will speak out after he's sentenced? Is that normal to y'all that the jurors are so quiet? Who told them to be this quiet? Not one interview, not one book. Do you think they're fearful? Do you think this is interesting that the jurors haven't spoke up? Will they all hit a stage together after he's sentenced?
That you really have nothing to do with a possible pardon right now?
Nothing. I have nothing to do with a possible pardon.
What is Sean Combs saying about the possibility of a pardon?
I think, I'm not political. We've never discussed it other than I tell him.
You think they're waiting till after sentencing? I'm curious of what the jury will say. At times, they said people were tired, sleepy. At times, from the beginning, writing great notes. Towards the end, they just got bored. A lot of stuff was repetitive. Why not call all his girlfriends? One, why not call KK and D-Rock? You guys sat there and watched and listened to what happened to people near him, by him, and around him. Why is Gina able to go MIA, then resurface after the jury deliberates? Okay, let's continue.
It's in the news about it. But
and what's his reaction? Does he laugh? Does he say, let's look into it? What does he say?
Go tell him that I need a pardon. Go tell him I deserve a pardon. That's what he said.
CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman was at the trial.
So his attorney, lead attorney for Diddy, is saying he's not trying to focus on a pardon, but maybe the other lawyers are, because that's what the other lawyers said, that they're trying to focus on a pardon.
And worked on this interview. Katrina, good to have you on. You and I both know you've been covering this trial since day one, full of twists and turns. This is the latest one. What's the likelihood of a presidential pardon, and what else stood out to you?
And we know that there are conversations going on. A White House official told...
They're waiting on the checks to clear. I see that comment. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. We got about 202 in the building, now 153 in the building. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 50K next month. We're trying to hit 50K next month. And continue to hit the like button, you guys. We got 16 likes. We've had about 3,000 people in the building already, if not more. Let's get the likes up. If you're watching from a phone or a tablet, press 1. If you're watching from a phone or a tablet, press 1. Please double tap the screen to get the likes up. The like button is free, free, free. The like button is the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Let's continue fair use. Let's get the likes up. I'm trying to continue with the show. Let's get the likes up. Can I get 100 people to hit that like button? Thank you. Let's get the likes up. Double tap that screen. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
That any pardon will come directly from the president. They're not going to comment on speculation about it. And a source close to Trump said they are getting pressure from friends of Sean Combs, but that Trump has not made a decision about this yet, Tom. So many things stood out from this interview, though. I mean, one that felt notable was that Sean Combs' family and close friends were often in that courtroom supporting him, but the most notorious name to show up was Kanye West. But he did not make it into the courtroom, and Mark Agnifilo told us that that was something he really had mixed feelings about. Kanye being there, he was glad that he came to support Combs, that, not a lot of people from his life had done that, but at the same time, he worried about the optics of the jury seeing West in that courtroom.
I mean, it really was, a guess as to who you would see coming in and out of that courtroom every single day. I want to turn to his attorney. What did his attorney say about Diddy's plans whenever he is released?
Yeah, well, he said, for one, they are really focused on that sentencing right now, Tom. That's what's coming up. But he did talk a little bit about his vision for the future. Let's take a listen.
Good afternoon.
What is it that Sean Combs wants people to know?
He wants people to know that I think that he has reflected on the blessings that he's been given, on the imperfections that I think he sees in himself. I think he wants to get out of jail, reestablish a loving, present relationship with all of his 7 children. He wants to take care of his mother.
So he's talked to you about getting back into music if he's released?
No, honestly, he has not.
Okay.
One thing he said, he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
He said that?
He did. He said to me he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
Doing what?
I guess being on stage.
I mean, so Tom, he really sees the end in sight here. Now that he's been convicted of these 2 charges, max of 20 years.
That's my favorite, y'all. I can laugh at this, I don't know how many times a day. Hold on one second. Hold on.
He said that. He said to me he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
Hold on.
One thing he said when he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
He said that?
He did. He said to me he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
Doing what?
I guess being on stage.
Doing what?
And I said I'll be there.
Doing what?
One thing he said when he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
He said that?
He did. He said to me he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
Doing what?
I guess being on stage.
Doing what?
And I said I'll be there.
Doing what?
One thing he said when he's going to be back in Madison.
Y'all, I get tickled every time I hear what his attorney had to say. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
So unlikely he's ever going to see that. Combs is picturing being back at Madison Square Garden one day, we're hearing.
Yeah, just a story that full of twists and turns, as I mentioned, one that you've been following since day one. Katrina Kaufman, we appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like the videos, y'all come in. Like the videos, y'all come in. Like. Yeah, but so much is going. You guys are just now coming in. Let me let y'all hear what the Breakfast Club had to say about Diddy is trying to counsel. He's trying to counsel DV victims. Hold on one second. Like the videos, y'all come in.
I wasn't in the studio all last week.
You're here. Thank God. I felt the energy. You're here. Okay, so yes, this morning, starting off in the latest, we're going to have a conversation about Diddy because his attorneys are continuing to have conversations. And what we found out over the weekend was that Diddy wants to become an anti-domestic violence advocate.
Well, if you don't sit his stupid ass down somewhere. It sounds so boy, his whole team. Bad boys, not bad boy. What's his team called? His lawyers and staff, record label, and mother effing crew.
You call him bad boy.
Okay.
Well,
it don't even make sense. I don't even know, like, after you just keep messing up, you just keep doing stupid stuff.
No, defend him, maybe. Ride for him. Defend him like
Exactly. He be giving it up for Diddy, yo. I don't be giving it up for nobody, first of all. And second of all, they just dumb.
Well, listen, so what Alexandria Shapiro, who's the attorney that spoke to Business Insider, is saying is that in the future, Diddy wants to work with domestic violence programs. He says that he wants to talk to, like, other, people who are committing.
Let's get the likes up, you guys. We still have less than 100 likes. Please hit the like button and thank you. Double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up so we can continue with the show. Double tap the screen. You guys are commenting. I'm cool with that. But we got to get the likes up. Y'all got to do y'all part. Double tap the screen to get the likes up. If you're watching from a phone or a tablet, press 1. So there's no reason why the likes shouldn't be at 100. My show goes fast. So most likely I have to slow down, get the likes up, and then continue. And then everybody, we got to get the likes up because there's I have to meet in regards to staying in the algorithm. Getting in the algorithm hasn't been easy, but I'm in it and I want to stay in it. So everybody got to do their part. Let's get the likes up. 100 people, please double tap that screen. There's 100 people in the building. If you already hit like, thank you. Some of y'all already hit it. So people are coming in and out. So please hit the like button, everyone. Double tap the screen, hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Double tap, double tap, double tap. That's the biggest thing. YouTube makes it easy. If you're watching from a phone, press 1. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. 100 people, double tap that screen. Let's go. Double tap that screen. Let's go.
These ads and children and just different people to basically say, hey, here's what happened to me, here's what I went through. I don't want y'all to do the same things, make the same wrongs that I did. Basically trying to help people before they get to that point.
Yeah, in the future, after you've done the work, I have no problem with that. But right now, you need to be a student in those classes, not a teacher. You just lied about this last year. Literally. Remember when Kathy first made the accusations and he said it wasn't true, then the video came out and he had to put his video out apologizing?
Yes.
He just lied about this last year.
Well, speaking of Cassie, her attorney, Douglas Wigdor, he spoke to Rolling Stone in response to the story, and he called this utterly preposterous. He says, at this point, or other people in the article, they have sources, they don't name them, but these are alleged victims of Diddy's that are saying that it's manipulation. It's manipulation because he hasn't even fully done the work yet. So to try and, create this narrative that you want to go and help people do things that you haven't figured out for yourself yet, is manipulation and it's disrespectful. It's almost like I was going to say a slap in the face to the victims, but...
well, the judge realizes this is a PR stunt and not genuine rehabilitation. So when the judge doesn't...
They feel it's a PR stunt. And then you figure the civil lawsuits are going to come out after he's sentenced. So let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Give him leniency at his sentencing. It's going to be stuff like this. That's the reason why.
Yeah, well, his team, so Alexandria actually said that they plan to have this conversation about what Diddy plans to do in the future with becoming an advocate, an anti-domestic violence advocate in sentencing documents. So they do plan to present this to the judge and make this a part of the conversation they have in the October 3rd sentencing to see if it'll help because they're trying to go for time served. They feel like he's going to be a little bit over a year at the time of sentencing. He should get time served and be able to come home on home confinement. They basically do like a split sentencing thing where he finishes the rest of the time from home.
Well, it makes no sense.
Do you think he'll get time served? Do you think he'll get home confinement? He's basically saying, okay, if you sentence me, let me go home. Do you think they'll do that for him? Yes or no? Do you think he'll get time served? Yes or no? Do you think he'll get home confinement? It's like, okay, dude, if you sentence me, let me at least go home. Do you think the judge will give him home confinement?
You have so many great attorneys, right? That they're supposed to be high-priced attorneys working on this case, and the fact that they keep making this mistake after the trial, and everybody else sees that
with an ankle monitor, of course, and security, of course.
Wrong, and they can't. That doesn't.
This could be coming from their client though. Their client could be pushing for this. Diddy, that's the problem.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I just think the timing is so bad. It doesn't.
Will tell you like, yo, this ain't it. Don't move like this.
Yeah, you're facing 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, which carry 20 years. You got to show remorse. You got to show accountability.
Well, and I thought he was going to be a Trump supporter. Oh yeah, that's exactly where I was going next because this is his attorney / not attorney.
Do you think he's going to switch up, trying to act like he is a true Trump supporter? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Like the video. Like the video. Like the video as y'all come in. Thank you. Thank you.
We're able to speak to some of us reporters, and then very early on.
This is his attorney speaking up in an interview. Let's go.
When it was clear, I think our last interview was me walking and talking with you, and you just talking about the defense that you were building, and that was it. After that,
we were pretty shut down during the trial by design. we had asked the judge actually for a little bit of a gag order, and the judge gave it to us, so we had to and wanted to sort of abide by that and kind of keep it out of the press. I mean, try the case in the courtroom, which we feel that we did.
So of course I want to start with July 2nd. Okay. You go up to the microphone. There's about a dozen microphones there. Everyone's smiling. Right. You step up first. You're the lead attorney for this case. Mm-hmm. Today is a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You said you saw this coming.
Yeah, I saw
that morning.
I did. I saw it coming. I saw it coming that morning. When the jury said that they had verdicts on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, but not on count 1, I thought that it must be that they split on the Mann Acts on the one side and then the sex trafficking on the other side, because it would have been all the way one or the other. They would have agreed, I think, on the racketeering conspiracy. Mm-hmm. So my guess was that they convicted him of the prostitution, the Mann Act counts, and acquitted on the sex trafficking.
Take me back to that moment, because I've heard you talk about how you didn't really sleep a lot during this trial, sure, and that you typically don't sleep a lot to begin with. But what went into this case? It had to be, I'm sure, the most publicized in the 35 years that you've been practicing law.
Sure. Yes, definitely the most publicized of my entire career, by a long way. I mean, Ranieri was publicized, Martin Shkreli was publicized. I've been blessed to have a lot of cases that people care about, but nothing close to this. And the press was every little thing. I mean, I thought the press was very aware of what was going on in the courtroom. They covered it very closely. I thought they covered it actually fairly accurately. And so it was a tremendous amount of preparation, a lot of pressure trying to keep the team together, a lot of pressure because, Sean Combs, I mean, I believed in my heart that he was innocent. The prosecution's tricky, but we're still sort of fighting that. And so there's a lot of pressure to win. And that's what this was all about.
For people who were not inside the courtroom, there was cheering, praying, celebration. There was a moment where Combs had his hand up, and in real time, we're watching as a decision is made and he's not going to speak. It seemed like he wanted to say something in that moment. Is that true, or what was going on?
I think he did. I think he wanted to speak to the judge. I think he's not someone who's used to people speaking on his behalf. I mean, I think he became Sean Combs, and he built all the things that he built by being the front and center guy. And this was a real adjustment for him. And so I think it's not natural for him to sit back and let others speak on his behalf. But we also told him that was best, and that's what was going to happen, and he agreed.
Was this the most challenging case that you've ever tried in your career?
That's a great question. It's up there. I mean, I've had missile trafficking, trials. I've had political corruption trials. When I was a prosecutor, I prosecuted serial killer hitmen. So they're all different. This was probably the most difficult in terms of getting the team together. I never had a defense team like in this case, and I was lucky to have such a great group of lawyers.
From all over the country?
From all over the country. I mean, we had Brian Steele and Nicole Westmoreland from Atlanta. I mean, gifted, great lawyers. We had Xavier Donaldson, Alexander Shapiro, Jason Driscoll, Anna Esteval, me and Tenny. And so we really had this great group of lawyers, but we needed a leader, and I'm not really a natural leader. I'm a trial lawyer.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip.
It's different. It's a different skill set. And I've never really tried to be a leader or had to be a leader. I'm a soldier, and I'm proud to be a soldier. So this was a different role, and I had to kind of step into the role. I mean, I kind of saw my team needed that, and we needed harmony. We needed, we have great lawyers who are used to all being front and center. We all needed, including myself. We have to leave our egos at the door. We have to do what's best for Mr. Combs. And so that was challenging. And then, the government was very well prepared. They had 6 outstanding prosecutors. I mean, it's a marquee case for what many say is the best prosecutor's office maybe in the world, the Southern District of New York. And this is probably their biggest case of the not so new century. And so it was high stakes. It's Game 7 in Yankee Stadium. And so it's pressure.
The stakes are still high. Presently, just this week, the judge, Arun Subramanian, said no to bail. Second time that he's done this. Sure. How many times have you sought bail for Sean Combs?
So I've counted because I've never been 0 for 5 in a case in my career. And I've tried to get bail for Mr. Combs 5 times, and I'm 0 for 5. So when I made the Yankee Stadium reference, if I was up at bat and 0 for 5, outing is not so great.
Does that hurt you?
Hold on, sorry.
Just because you have made these arguments over and over again, obviously with different judges, but with this judge twice, and more recently, the judge cited evidence of violence and coercion, and said that concerns about Combs' safety. The judge said that he acknowledged the staff had been able to keep him safe even during an incident of threatened violence from an inmate. So in your opinion, you speak to Sean Combs often. What is going on at the Metropolitan Detention Center that you're saying you believe he's in danger?
So he's a very public personality, and it was a very public trial. I think that there is always the risk that some people are going to be envious, maybe jealous that he might be going home before they do. And so, I think it's been more challenging for the outstanding staff at the MDC to kind of step up, do the things that they need to do to keep, Mr. Combs safe. And they've been doing that, and they've been outstanding with us. And I know that they get their, more than their share of grief from time to time, but they've been very, very good with us and very, very good with Mr. Combs.
Weren't they clapping hands of his release?
Before, though, or is this something that had been building because of recent incidents you talked about? document, you said that there was an inmate that was stabbed just above Combs. So help us understand sort of from September of 2024 to now how things have changed and why that's something that you brought up.
I think that's largely, the other stabbing I think is largely anecdotal. I don't know that has anything to do with our case or Mr. Combs. I think it does not have anything to do with it.
Okay.
But what I've seen, and what he tells me is that it's a little different ever since the verdict, and maybe it's because he's
good or bad?
A little more tense, not from the staff, but from certain people, other inmates. I think that there are a lot of people who really support him among the inmate population. I think a lot of inmates take faith and heart in the fact that someone has won. I mean, all they really tend to see is they lose. You go to trial and you lose, and that's what they see. And so the fact that Mr. Combs won his trial largely, not completely, of course, I think is seen as giving everybody a little bit of hope. That being said, I think that there's lots of different ways people can feel.
What about this consistent thread that Judge Submaranian continues to say? The judge has said the first time when he denied bail that there was an issue of violence and coercion, and he used those same words this week. Your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts are, he was convicted of he was acquitted of coercion. I mean, that was the sex trafficking count, and a jury of 12 New Yorkers acquitted him of that. Now, I don't think that is going to play a role at the sentencing because he's being sentenced on straight prostitution. But in terms of
the violence, though, which you acknowledged in court, when opening statements, not from you, but Tenny, this is not about racketeering concercy. Was there domestic violence? Absolutely, you own that.
We owned it. We owned it then. We own it now. And I said it in the closing, and I say it now. It's large. It's in the past for the most part. There's one event that happened in the summer of 2024 where the woman called Jane admits that she provoked, something that ended up being violent on both sides. His relationships were toxic. He's not proud of that. There was mutual violence, but that doesn't excuse a man being violent toward a woman ever. And we never said that it did. And so at the end of the day, he started seeking help, counseling. He was in a program before he was arrested in this case. He was productive. He was going, in touch.
I told y'all, he said he was in a program before he got arrested, but you still had the room set up for FO. So what does that mean? Whoever the woman was, she was expected to do X, Y, or Z with a partner outside of him. So really, did he learn his lesson? If you know you're being watched, you're supposed to turn yourself in. You got substances in the hotel and it's set up for an FO, but he's in counseling. That's probably why the judge allegedly feels he didn't learn his lesson, because you wouldn't have had the room set up that way. You wouldn't have still had substances not there, knowing you could turn yourself in and knowing they could pick you up, and they picked him up.
The people in the program. And I think that when he gets out, he's going to start that again. I mean, the programming at the MDC is not great, and it's really almost non-existent. So we've put together, therapists and people who go in and speak to Mr. Combs. And
how often?
Every 2 weeks. I mean, it's
So it's very clear that hotel was being watched. They're probably like, okay, a person coming to a hotel, a few bags of clothes, a few bags of items, but they probably saw a lot of stuff coming in that hotel, and they're probably like, okay, we've seen this before. Is he setting up for FO? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Pretty regular, and we did it during the trial, but before the trial as well. And so and I think it's helpful. I mean, I think it's what he needs. I mean, I was in the DA's office when I was 25 years old, and I probably had 200 cases. I bet 30 of them were domestic violence, mostly committed by men. And so this is a well-worn path, in the criminal system of men being violent with their domestic partners. And I think the best way to deal with it is therapy, counseling. A lot of times their partners don't want them to go to jail. They want them to get help. They want them to get better. They want them to be the men that they fell in love with. And that's really what I want for Mr. Combs.
When's the last time you spoke to him?
Mr. Combs? Yeah. Today.
What did he say?
We were just talking about, sentencing and, and some of the questions you're asking about, what does the judge's ruling on bail relate to sentencing? And I explained to him it really is two completely different things, and it's two different sort of bodies of laws and rules. So, the bases by which a judge can keep someone in jail are very different than the bases on which the judge sentences the person.
Do you speak to him every day?
Every day, several times a day.
Does he know you're doing this interview?
I think he does, but not from me.
Okay.
I think he was told.
Is there anything that he can say that he wanted to get through, because you are now speaking more publicly about the case and just sort of what's next? But maybe a better question, what is it that Sean Combs wants people to know, because he's limited to what he can say?
Yeah. So he wants people to know that I think that he has reflected on the blessings that he's been given, on the imperfections that I think he sees in himself, just like we all have. I think he wants to be a better, more present father than he's ever been. I think he wants to start small. I think he wants to get out of jail, reestablish, a loving, present relationship with all of his 7 children. He wants to take care of his mother. His mother is she's going to get mad at me. She's getting older, but she's beautiful and fashionable as always. But he wants to get back in his life. I think the larger goals are down the road. Does he want to get back into music? Does he want to get back into business? I think he's someone who is always going to strive to do something, exceptional and probably demanding and challenging. But I think the most demanding and challenging thing in front of him right now is to get back with his kids and get back with his mother and the people who love him and miss him.
So he's talked to you about getting back into music if he's released?
No. Honestly, he has not.
Okay.
One thing he said when he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
He said that?
He did. He said to me he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
Doing what?
I guess being on stage. And I said I'll be there. I want to be right in front. So we'll see. We'll make it happen.
So you talk to him every day. How long do these conversations typically last?
Sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 15 minutes, usually several times a day. Either on something called the VTC. It's like a Zoom setup. I go see him. I'm going to see him tomorrow morning. So I spend a lot of time physically with him in the jail, but also on these videos.
Mark, I know there's been so much celebration about.
So I tried this website called Hint. It shows you what you're supposed to.
Like the video. Like the video. Like the video.
About what he was acquitted of, but he's still facing 2 felony convictions. Each count carries up to 10 years behind bars. Are you preparing him for the worst, or are you optimistic that he's not going to get a lot of time, if any time, or he'll get a pardon?
Right. The pardon, that's not my end of the business. I know really nothing about that.
But you're the lead attorney, and Nicole Westmoreland said that there have been conversations.
She did. I know mostly what I know from what the president has said.
But wait, how are you the lead attorney? And she's saying that the team has had conversations with the White House, with the administration.
I can just tell you what, I have had conversations with nobody.
You haven't spoken to the president?
I have not. No, I have not spoken to the president. I have not spoken to anybody who speaks to the president about Sean Combs. I have not.
So she said, and I just want to quote Nicole Westmoreland, who's a part of the team, said that it's her understanding that we have reached out and had conversations, that they have spoken to people who would be responsible for the pardon process. And at a time where I think there's a lot of attention, not just on the president and his actions, but on what will happen here with Sean Combs, you mean to tell me that you really have nothing to do with a possible pardon right now?
Nothing. I have nothing to do with a possible pardon. I have my hands full with, the sentencing and bail. Really, I'm not involved at all. So,
okay.
Like I said, I know it's in.
You can be honest with me, right?
Of course I will. I'm on TV.
Okay.
I know it's out there. I know it's out there. I know that every once in a while the president will say something about it. I don't know how seriously the president's taking it.
Do y'all think that the president will speak up after his sentencing? That's a big question. Will he speak up after his sentencing? Okay, let's get to some hot topics, trending topics. Now that it did that, let me see. Hold on one second. Okay, Tristan's trending. We don't normally talk Tristan. Right now, the K's and the J's, Tristan, Lamar, Chloe, they're all doing whatever they can for media attention, clicks, and views. Right now, the K's and the J's are going through it. And what do I mean? TMZ recently did something with Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is talking about his past, bringing up what he went through, the struggles he's had. Lamar is talking. The Kardashians don't really have anything going on. So right now, the men have to be in the forefront. Talking to Rob. Rob doesn't want to be a part of the show. Every year, Chloe talks to Rob, and Rob's not having it. Rob is not interested in trending and going viral every month. Rob is not interested. So have you noticed, Chloe hasn't moved on. It's clear she doesn't seem like she's dated anybody that she's been with after Tristan. Nobody for a good year that she's shown, I'm dating this person, I've moved on. She hasn't moved on. So right now, Chloe utilizes men to trend and go viral. And her podcast. Go listen to Chloe's first 4 podcasts. Go listen to them. Very concerning. Very concerning. The Kardashians are getting called out for utilizing the children to trend and go viral. Tristan wanted to be single and Chloe did not want that. Chloe wanted to be with this man. I don't know why. Almost every year he was spotted or seen with or kissing or on a boat, holding hands with. Very similar situations as Lamar. Lamar said he cheated all the time. He was in full blown out relationships with other women. That's what Lamar said. Go check it out. I listened to some of it, probably 15 minutes, just so I can get a gist of what Lamar was talking. But Lamar said he cheated. Tristan cheated. So now the women want to talk about procedures, and the women are going to try and play victim of, look at what my exes did to us. You picked him. Remember, Tristan had a girlfriend pregnant. Tristan was allegedly dating Larsa Pittman. I'm sure Larsa is so happy she left Tristan alone. Larsa would have picked up the signs. Larsa would have picked up the signs about Tristan. And Larsa caught it. Larsa took Tristan to an event, and then Khloe started dating him later after that event. So you got Larsa, who was friends with Kim. You had Kim, who was friends with Blac Chyna, and the sisters loved taking these men. Khloe took on Tristan. Kylie took on Tyga. Concerning. But you get what you want. And it's a concern of how Tristan acts and talks. Now, the other thing, if you don't know, Tristan has Khloe assisting him. I'm going to be general out of respect, because we respect people that are struggling with physical elements. So Tristan doesn't want to take her off of, remove from. She doesn't want to cut ties with Tristan. Khloe wants to continue with Tristan, by Tristan, near Tristan. She wants to continue. Why? I don't know. And then remember how he acted towards her. She still got pregnant. And then remember, after all that stuff happened, she still had another child with him. Mothers teach your daughters different. These Kardashian women, the unhealthy relationships are concerning. How they treat people are concerning. So right now, we understand Kim and Kanye's having concerns. Kim's being talked about too. I told y'all this a long time ago. I don't like how Kim treats Courtney. I don't like how Kim treats Khloe. And I don't like how Kim treats North. I told y'all, and now media are talking about how Kim is raising North, how she's dressing North, how she's letting North go to different events with security. A mother needs to be there. If the mother's not there, a father needs to be there. She's letting North grow up way too fast. And then let's get back to Tristan. Remember how Khloe likes to say she's like the third mom to Dream? And people were like, Khloe, if you're spending time with Rob's daughter, that's on you. That's on you. And then remember how Tristan was like, I have whatever, however number he said, I got 3 children, or I got 3. He said something that pertained to Dream. And everybody was like, skirt, hold on, Tristan, that's not your child. That is Rob's daughter. That is Blac Chyna's daughter. You don't have nothing to do with that. You could say I'm a big uncle to Dream. But it's interesting how Khloe and Tristan talk about, like, they're the parents of Dream. Like they wish they could have been the parents of Dream. And then this is the other thing. Would Rob be in the situation he's in if he wouldn't have been so close to Khloe? Remember how Lamar is speaking up about how he had substance issues? Rob was so close to Khloe around that time. Rob was very close to Khloe around that time. So Rob might have been hearing in the streets how Tristan was allegedly cheating, how Lamar might have been allegedly cheating. That's a lot on a brother. Not to be able to do something, and these men you choose are allegedly cheating. Baby, that's some dirty work. That's some dirty work. Them Kardashians, those relationships are concerning. Kim, Kanye, Khloe, and Tristan and Lamar, and her others, whatever. Kylie and her situationship. Kylie and Travis Scott. Kylie and Tyga. And then Courtney, they say different stuff, but well wishes in regards to that. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. 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 And here she is assisting. We get it. There's people that do kind stuff. We get it. But man, she does not want to cut ties with this man. And she then, okay, she can't continuously talk about Tristan. It'll look kind of odd. So then she brings Lamar on the show and he's sweating and he's having, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden she gives Lamar a box of stuff. Oh my goodness. Here or there. Mothers teach her daughters different. These men that date these Kardashians, it's a concern. It's always been a concern. So we'll probably see, since we're seeing something about Lamar at a later date, we'll see something about Tristan. We'll see something probably about Travis and Kylie. Kylie and Kendall are kind of different though. Kylie and Kendall are kind of different. Men will date them because the girls move on. Kylie and Kendall don't really bring up a lot of the exes. They move on. Kim likes to bring up exes. Pictures. Oh, this is what I've learned from this relationship. Old pictures, the media still posting. Poor Pete. Pete went through a lot regards to Kim and Kanye, but he chose to date her. He chose to date her. But right now, it seems like Khloe's having a concern about moving on and dating, and Kim's having a concern about moving on and dating. Is it how they see she is with her children? Is it because of what she supports? Kim still supports Balenciaga. So there's that. So let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Like the videos y'all come in. Like the videos y'all come in. I got to be careful what I show. Okay, Larsa Pittman talked about this. She talked about how this is her now. She's wondering if someone made this picture look this way. I want to play the video, but I don't want to strike because I played this video. But yeah, Larsa Pittman is swollen. Many people have talked about it. And see, that's the thing. Larsa Pittman was the one that was dating Tristan. Larsa Pittman allegedly took Tristan to a Kardashian event, and then Khloe started dating Tristan. So it's interesting that the women, the K's and the J's, likes to take the sisters' men. And then go look up. The Game likes to talk about the Kardashians and how many he allegedly slept with. But there's that. Many people are saying some of these celebrities are going overboard in regards to these procedures. Some of the people are speaking out about the mom, Kris Jenner, going through a procedure. Shortly after that, Kylie talked about her procedure. Now, allegedly, Kim is talking about she's getting a procedure out of the country. Baby, sometimes putting those things in your system is not a good thing. We saw when Blac Chyna removed a lot of her fillers, she looked 10 years younger. When Blac Chyna removed all that stuff from her system, she looked 10 years younger. Like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip. We're just doing a few hot topics, trending topics. Were you guys surprised to see Larsa look the way she did? Yeah, many people called it out. They was like, what's happening? And they were talking about, there was a young lady that passed recently after her third BBL surgery. Are these celebrities putting out a good narrative? Are these celebrities putting out a good narrative to these young adults? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, many people are concerned. And then she's saying that she might have had a slight allergic reaction. And I don't think she was saying she was that swollen, but she might have been a little swollen. But yeah, she was kind of calling people out for talking about her. Okay, let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Rihanna looking gorgeous and pregnant. Congratulations to Riri. She's on her third child, y'all. She's on her third child. Okay. Let me think if there's anything else going on. Yeah, it's been interesting about Rihanna and ASAP. Yeah, she looks cute though. And that dress I showed last week, she looks so cute pregnant. And I would imagine at a certain point in celebrities' careers, they want to start having children. And this is the time she picked. Because many people are like, where's the music? Where's the music? Maybe she's just over it. and she just wants to be a mom. She's doing successful in regards to Fenty. She's doing a great job in regards to Fenty. So, well wishes to Riri. Okay, everyone, I have some things I have to take care of. Don't want to, but I have to. Um, like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to continue to hit subscribe. Fair use copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing or comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. These are just some pictures that they had to show about Rihanna, but her belly is out, so some of those I got to be careful. But yeah. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Everyone have a great Monday. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your week. Yeah. Well, we talk hot topics, trending topics. So it is what it is. Life choices. These Kardashians have made choices and they've had procedures, and mothers have to teach their daughters about self-worth and self-love. There's that. So I appreciate you all for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Don't forget, if you did not hit subscribe, please hit subscribe. Even if all 52 hit subscribe, that's a great day for me. So make sure you hit the subscribe button as you go out. Thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate you all. Goodbye.